Hey guys, what is up? RedPandaMining here. How you guys all doing? I hope you're all doing really well and having a really great day. In this video, I am here to figure out for my GTX 1060 3GB cards. I have a bunch of the EVGA 1060s with Samsung memory. And these cards are near and dear to my heart. I've had these since like the middle of 2017 for a long time now. And I've run into an issue where I am not able to mine Ravencoin in Windows anymore because of a DAG size issue, and I believe the Ravencoin DAG right now is between 2.4 to 2.5 gigabytes, so Windows is not able to build the DAG. As you guys can see here, I'm using NB Miner and it says out of memory, and I know a few of you guys have been asking, and I'm here to make this video because I'm gonna essentially move off of Windows on my 1060 rig here, and I'm gonna put it on a Linux mining operating system of some sort. There's a plethora amount of Linux operating systems out there. HiveOS, MinerStat, Simple Mining, Kudo Miner has a Linux one, NiceHash has their operating OS one, MMPOS has one as well, and I feel like I'm forgetting others. But in this video, I am gonna put this rig on simplemining.net and see if we can get this rig running mining on Ravencoin in Linux. Everyone says you should be able to because the DAG size is under 3 gigabytes, and as we all know, with Linux mining, we're not gonna get this error because Windows takes up so much like memory or video memory and virtual memory, all that kind of stuff, and that's why we're having this issue right now. So what we're gonna do first, I'm just gonna shut down this rig. I'm gonna take out the mechanical hard drive that we're using here. I'm not gonna use that anymore, and we're gonna go ahead and start using USB stick. So this 32 gig USB stick is a SanDisk one, and I've used these for a lot of my mining OSs when I'm doing Linux mining for my mining rigs, and so I really like this one, and it'll be pretty easy to get it installed and stuff. So I just have to download the OS here and then use Balena Etcher or Rufus and then put the OS on that USB stick. Alright, so let me go ahead and download this first and I'll show you guys the process. Okay, so one thing to note here is with Simple Mining OS, you have to make sure you download the correct OS. So there's two different versions here depending on what cards you have. So I'm downloading this one right here because it's meant for all models except for GTX 1650 or 1660. So we're using GTX 1060 cards, and then if we look at this one here, it says NVIDIA recommended only for GTX 1650 or 1660. All other models will work, but with 1% slower. So don't use this one, use this one if you have 1063 gigabyte cards. Okay, so while that's downloading, make sure you guys have the BIOS settings set up. You know, all the normal things such as 4G decoding, set PCIe to auto, enabled onboard graphics. So make sure you read and do all this. Next, you need to make sure you download the Balena Etcher or Rufus. I've used both and they seem to work fine on, putting on mining OSs. Simple Mining says to use Balena Etcher, so I already have that installed here, as you guys can see, and so I'm waiting for the OS to download. It's almost done downloading, so give me a sec. Alright, Simple Mining OS is done downloading, so now we're just going to go into Balena Etcher here. You want to flash from file, go to your downloads folder, most likely that's where it's going to download, and double click on the image file that you just recently downloaded. Then you're going to select the target, which is going to be your USB stick. So here is mine, and we're going to hit select and flash. Then you're going to get this little pop-up to say yes, and essentially we have to wait for it now. Okay, flash is complete and you will get this window. So first things first is you actually have to go into your Simple Mining account. So we actually do that now. You go to your rig list here and then we have to do add rig. Alright, then you'll get this message here and you have to allow rigs to be added to this account for the next 120 minutes. You click that and then we are okay. Next step is go back to your SMOS USB stick here. Open up this config file. Now we have to enter in our email address so that this USB stick will automatically connect to our account on Simple Mining OS. Okay, so basically change your email here and then click save. Okay, so once that's saved, you can essentially just eject your USB stick, and now we are going to go ahead and take out the USB and plug it into the 1060 rig. Alright, so give me a sec. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys before we go into simple mining here. Depends on the motherboard that you have. Your BIOS is going to look different from other different ones. So in my video here, I have a Gigabyte Z270P, and you want to make sure your PCIe link speed here is set to auto for simple mining, okay? And as well, you want to make sure 4G decoding is enabled. It may look different on different motherboards, as I said before, and then you just want to simply save and exit. And now it should start loading into simple mining, and we should essentially see this rig on the web GUI in simple mining. So we'll let it boot up and give it a sec. Okay, looks like it's booting up here, and let's go see if it shows up on simple mining OS. All right, let's go check here. Let's go to rig list. And yeah, it shows a rig here. There's no name or anything, but looks like we have to change some settings here. I haven't used simple mining for a long time, since like 2017, 2018, so give me a sec. Okay. You guys can see I have my GTX 1060 rig, 3GB cards, mining Ravencoin now, and yeah, it's getting about 9.6 megahash per GPU. And you guys can see all the different stats here. It's like 52 degrees, 55, 56 degrees. I have the fan speed at 100 right now because the temperature in my basement is a little bit hotter than normal. And then you guys can see the power consumption roughly is about 667 watts for the whole rig. At the wall, I'm assuming it's more like 700 watts or so. You guys can see my config here and overclock. I'll show you guys that in a second, but I just wanted to show you the hash rates here. And yeah, I've actually been trying to play around, you know, I was just fine tuning the hash rates and the power consumptions. I'm glad I can mine Ravencoin now on these cards using a Linux mining operating system like simple mining. So you guys can see here just verifying the mega hash, about 9.65. And this is the caw-pow algorithm. So it may, you know, it's going to change every now and then, I think every block. So these mega hash numbers may go higher, may go lower. That's what I've noticed with this algorithm. More so, I know it changes a lot more with like AMD cards, like Polaris cards, but with NVIDIA cards, the change is like a little bit different, not so much. Anyways, yeah, guys, look at this. This is pretty good. It's working good now. And let's see here. What else can I show you guys? So let me show you my overclock. I had to do it in group overclock here, but you can also manually do it if you want by clicking this overclock button right here. And you guys can see I just added a group name. The core megahertz, I just have at 50. The memory megahertz is at 300, and the power limit I have at 90. So I tried like 80, and you know, the mega hash was definitely a little bit lower, like 8 or 7.9 mega hash. So you know what, I just did 90, and that seems to be like the sweet spot for my cards. But if you guys are going to be testing this out, just, you know, test out with the power limit. I just kept the memory and core the same, and just played around with the power limit. Okay, target temperature, yeah, I just have at 70. Minimum fan speed I have at 100 right now, and that's it. And you guys can see here the overclock is on the fly, and then you can save the group overclock changes for the one rig. And so yeah, you can actually change it by going to group overclock, and you can do it here as well by clicking the edit button here. And yeah, so some of you guys who have never used simple mining before, it's a little bit different from, I would say, HiveOS, MinerStat, all those other ones. There's a little bit different, how I say, terminology when it comes to using simple mining. So with group config and group OC, what's really good about simple mining, in my opinion, is if you have multiple rigs with the same hardware. Say you had a bunch of GTX 1060 rigs, 3GB cards like I have one here, and imagine I had like 10 more. You can apply the exact same overclock setting to those rigs. And then as well, when you go to group config, you can add a group, which I have right here, and you can apply this same group here to all of your other 1063GB rigs as well. So really easy actually to add a group, and you find the software that you want to mine with, and then let's just say you want to mine with Team Red Miner, for example, and you guys can see all of the different revisions, the different versions of Team Red Miner, and that goes along with all the other software as well, Gminer and like everything. It'll show the different version numbers, and you can click on the one that you want to use, but obviously most people are probably going to use the latest. You click on that and it'll bring you to the group configuration thing here where you put the name, description, and then you add in under the miner options your server and your wallet, your worker name, all that kind of stuff here. Okay, so depending on what you're mining, it may be different, and they do have like like a show more info here, which I found to be really useful in case you need to add more like commands into this place right here. Basically, like these are like the bat file commands for your batch file if you're doing this like in Windows, for example. But on Linux, they have very similar thing. You can use these commands onto this area right here. Okay, so pretty cool. And then if you want to apply those overclock and group config settings, you just simply, you go to your rig here, you click on the, make sure it's checked, and then you go to actions, and then you can pretty much link or unlink a group overclock and a group config as well. Okay, so for example, where you click on group config is when you can assign the group config that you wanted on that rig specifically. So, and every time I do this, be sure to reboot, as you know, that will just fully implement the config into the rig, and it's pretty instant, it's pretty fast. So yeah. All right guys, well that's it. That's pretty much all I wanted to show you. It seems like this rig is working pretty good now, getting about 9.4 mega hash now. Finally, I've been I've had these rigs off for like, I would say a month, and I just never gotten the time to just go ahead and had the motivation to put this rig on a Linux mining operating system of some sort so that I can mine Ravencoin. Finally, to end off this video, I just wanted to like show you guys and talk about other coins that you can mine on 3GB cards. And you know, it's just not only Ravencoin, but there's also Aeon, of course. Love Aeon. You know, this coin, it seems to be actually really profitable right now as of making this video, more than Ravencoin. So that might be something as well. But then there's other coins as well that 3GB cards can mine. I think some kryptonite coins, but not as good as AMD cards. Zelhash, I believe. Ubic you can also mine. And I think there's a bunch of other ones. Actually, I have a website here called investnoon.com. And I use this site just to see what the DAG file size is for like Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. So obviously they're above 3GB. So the GTX 1060 3GB cards cannot mine Ethereum or Ethereum Classic, but there are other ones that are Ethash and below 3GB. So Expanse, Ubic, and Metaverse that are also mineable on 1060 3GB cards. Okay, so yeah, I still got to change over my other 1060 rig. I may make another video doing that, and maybe I'll try a different coin or something. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and peace out.